Well, everyone, it happened. The Last of Us Online has been cancelled. Hey there folks, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and yeah, just randomly midnight in UK time, Naughty Dog put out a community post to let everyone know that The Last of Us Online was no longer happening. They have cancelled the game, they are ceasing production, and yeah, we're not going to see that. This is incredibly upsetting actually. It's personally a game that I have been looking forward to for years at this point, legitimately years, before it was even announced properly. The Last of Us faction on the original PlayStation 3 game and the PS4 remaster is legitimately one of the best multiplayer games out there, and I genuinely believe that. There's something just incredibly unique and special about that multiplayer game where it's tense, it's focusing so harshly on the survival aspect, you have the meta game that really makes you invested in each and every match, and then the teamwork, the coordination is absolutely paramount to a game like that. So then taking all of that and then bringing it into a new multiplayer experience was something that really excited me. I expected it to launch with part 2. We got an announcement 6 months before its launch at the beginning of 2020 to say that actually no, Naughty Dog has bigger plans for this multiplayer sequel. They want it to get the time and dedication, the scope that it deserves. I personally thought that was going to mean a year or so, but we waited and we waited. And in 2022, we got a sort of unveiling at the Summer Games Fest. Neil Druckmann showed some concept art, spoke a little bit about the game, and then there was just radio silence. We never heard a thing about this. Now, one of the first videos that I made when I joined the channel was basically about where the hell is this multiplayer? Why has it not happened yet? Here are the things that I would love to see from it. I was also very hopeful, assuming it would launch with the 10-year anniversary. That obviously didn't happen. Now, there are a couple of things I want to talk about with this. For one, Naughty Dog did explain the fact that essentially the post-launch support for The Last of Us Online would have turned the studio into a live service studio. It's not going to be the single player developer that we have known it to be for the last 20 years or so. Now, on one side of things, I really do think that this is a respectable approach, because I feel like there's a constant urge for developers to turn towards live service, because it's the thing of the moment, or the thing of the decade, let's say. Everyone wants that big multiplayer hit. It's the way to make money now, or seemingly so for a lot of studios, and it's nice in a way to have Naughty Dog take a step back and say, well no, our players like our games and like us as a developer because we're developing high quality single player games. It's good for them to take a step back, realize that, and say no, we're not going to change our entire studio just for this one game. On the other hand though, it's a little disappointing that Naughty Dog clearly bit off more than it could chew. So many fans of factions genuinely would have been quite happy with The Last of Us Part 2 gameplay with The Last of Us Factions game modes. That would have done. Better graphics, better gameplay, runs a bit smoother, there you go. Because clearly there's a passion, there's a fan base for it. You can go on The Last of Us Factions today and get in a match near immediately. There's no issues there because so many people are playing it. So in a way for them to go too grand and big, there was a lot of rumours about Battle Royale or trying to implement those live service aspects, and then rumours started to go around that Bungie started to take a look to see how they felt the game was doing, how it would survive, and that's potentially, although not officially, where things started to turn for Naughty Dog, because Bungie reportedly weren't too happy or didn't think that it really had the legs to survive, and that changed strategy, that pushed things back. And I think this has steadily turned into something that is too much of a time sink for Naughty Dog. It's taking up too much of their resources, and that is a real shame. Looking at the wider Sony impacts of this as well, it's not looking all too great for Sony's live service efforts. Of course, they had went big with their announcements a couple of years ago, I believe, with all of the live service games they were going to make. But then we've heard that actually they're scaling things back. It's not going to be as many as that. Then you take one of their biggest and most successful IPs and say, we're not going to make this multiplayer game. And I genuinely think now that The Last of Us is bigger than ever, it's a missed opportunity for Sony. It really is. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? This is what has come down the line. I'm incredibly upset about this. I'm really disappointed. I cannot lie. This has been my most anticipated game for so long. I just kept holding out hope that it would come out one day and it would be everything we hoped for. And that's just that's just not the case. We did hear though that Naughty Dog is working on more than one big single player game, so we do have that to look forward to. But yeah, let me know how you are feeling about this down in the comments. Are you as disappointed as me? Is it a surprise? Is it suspected? Or do you think that Naughty Dog really was a studio to be making multiplayer games? What do you think of Last of Us Faction, the original multiplayer game as well? Do you like it as much as me? Let me know all of that down in the comments. But anyway folks, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more PlayStation video content. And until next time, I've been Aaron and this has been Push Square.